All set.
Thank you. So this begins the pre-meeting for the Rochester Preservation Board hearing for December 2nd, 2020. Staff and board members review cases during the pre-meeting. There's no participation by applicants or the public. Following the conclusion of the pre-meeting, a public hearing will be held at 6 p.m. Here, all cases will be heard. Applicants will present. Public comments will be read into the record and deliberations will follow. So we have 7 cases tonight. Let's start with the attendance for site visits. So we'll start with case 1, 75 Hoyt Place. Is there anyone who did not visit the site? Okay. Case 2, 476 Beach Avenue. Is there anyone present who did not visit the site? Case 3, 1307 Park Avenue. Is there anyone who did not visit the site? '11 Arnold Park. Anyone who did not visit the site? 441 East Avenue. Is there anyone who did not visit the site? 1240 East and 324 Culver. Okay, so all board members visited all sites for tonight's hearing. So now we can go through and discuss any general questions that anyone had about the cases. We'll start with case 1, 75 Hoyt Place.
Chris, I had a question about the standards. Is there a specific number of standards that the property should check off?
No, not necessarily. Those are just all the standards in the code. It doesn't specify that it needs to meet all of the standards. I think there may be different weight allocations that the board could see that maybe, they may only meet 1 or 2 standards, but there's a high level of significance with those standards.
I am 100% behind this one, by the way.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful to discover. I can't believe I've lived here all these years and didn't even know it existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been there several times, but I knew it was there, but I don't get in there very often. It's a little out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll move on to case 2, 476 Beach Avenue.
Question, the email that in reference to the comments that came in reference to the hearing for this property, will you be addressing all of those at some point before we begin deliberation for that person, or responding to them individually, or what?
Yeah, we'll read it into the record, allow the applicant to respond, and then also clarify as part of that what issues are not pertinent to your consideration of the application. Like there are some things in there about whether there are bed and breakfasts there that's not relevant to the pool application.
Right.
But we'll do that all on the record rather than right here.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Can I just follow up on Kajana's question? Because I had the same sort of question as I read through, and I think there were 10 points in the letter. I wasn't sure that any of them relate to the preservation board. They had to do with environmental concerns. They had to do with bed and breakfast. They had to do with, do other neighbors other than the immediate adjacent neighbors have to be involved? It wasn't clear. Is it taking up too much of the lawn? I mean, none of these seemed like preservation board questions. So I just wanted to follow up on Kajana's question and ask, is that right? Or are you going to tell us at the hearing some of these are within our purview?
So the things that are within your purview are in the staff report, which does address the one area variance that does apply, that being the pool in the side yard. The questions in there about being in a coastal hazard, erosion hazard area, we checked the official maps and the pool's not in there. The question about coastal consistency, this property is in a zone that's subject to the local waterfront revitalization plan, but a pool is not something that requires review under that plan. And yeah, you're right. The bed and breakfast issue, as we discussed, is not pertinent to the pool. It's a code enforcement issue, and there's no code enforcement or complaint that we're aware of regarding the use of this property as a bed and breakfast. And I think that covers it, but we wanted to also do this on the record when the applicant has a chance to address as well, so that everyone's treated fairly.
Thanks, Tom. So our only consideration here is this an appropriate use of the site by preservation standards?
Right.
Right.
And so the, side yard location, I think the area variance is a little bit of factor for you there that, we generally don't allow that in any properties, but yeah, you're using your area or your historic review criteria.
But in fact, haven't we sometimes reviewed proposals based on how much of the yard was being either paved over or built over or something like that, to try to maintain a certain balance between lawn, yard, and man-made structures?
Right. So this doesn't require an area variance due to its area coverage, but if you in considering the appropriateness to the site, believe that this is too much additional built area and that it instead should remain lawn, that would be something that you could consider in balancing the pros and cons.
Would be in consideration with the standards.
Yeah. So
For
yeah,
review.
you can consider whether it's desirable or not to have more area built. And this is another area built, albeit a pool with water, but it still is built. Yeah.
Okay. The third case, 1307 Park Avenue.
Okay, similar question. Okay, there was a letter written by a resident in reference to numerous violations and in regards to a door. Last meeting, one applicant was postponed because they had not dealt with some previous violations. Okay, how does this factor in? So I'm assuming that because it's on the docket, it will be heard tonight.
So to address your question, there are no violations on this property in regards to what that commenter attests are violations on the property. We don't have any recorded violations on record for this property.
Okay.
For what they're attesting to as violation. So it's similar to some of the comments that we've received for, Speech Avenue, whereas they're stating that these are violations, but they're not any violations on record with us. And remember from last month, sort of like how you were saying, I guess just for everyone, if a property has a violation, we can't bring it to the preservation board for review unless that case to review the project is to abate that violation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Chris, again, following up on Kajana, we have no evidence at our end that they removed an original front door.
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Is that in reference to their? Yeah. There's no evidence that I can find because I did go through our system.
That's the testimony that we got from the neighbor.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Case 4, 11 Arnold Park.
I was doing okay with this one until I read the word fiberglass, and then I got a little concerned.
Yeah, Jim, the only thing I'd say, I think we've approved fiberglass for windows and for wood replacements like this.
Have we? I always get confused on those, and that's why when I hit that, I didn't know if that was a stopper or not. So I was eager to hear what it
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly something legitimate for us all to discuss, but it's a material we have approved before. It's certainly not vinyl. It's a material that can be painted and made to look like wood.
Okay. I can.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, those are good things to ask on the record too, about what the applicant believes are the characteristics, including paintability and that Gerald mentioned, just so it's on the record.
And it would also be helpful, Kirsten and or Dave, as architects, may also jump in during the hearing as people who are going to know the materials as well as any of us.
Yeah.
So the next case, 441 East Avenue, case 5.
Pretty straightforward.
Okay. Case 6, 1240 and 1240 East Avenue and 324 Culver Road.
Are they the same? Yes, they are. Okay.
Mhm.
I was frustrated with the second case number 7, that there's really no description of what that shed is made out of. Is it wood? Is it vinyl? What is it? We can't get near it, so we can ask the question, but.
Yep. Any other?
So, Chris,
comments?
are they gonna remove the other fencing then? Was that part of the proposal?
Are you talking about the temporary wire fencing?
Yeah,
So that has been removed.
it has been.
It has been
Just in the
removed.
past 2 days.
As in the past 2 days. The final posts were removed at 11 a.m. today. We got an email from our inspector out in the field about that.
And that
So it
was
has
the
been
violation.
removed.
Is that correct?
Say that again?
That was the violation previously?
Correct.
Okay.
So if for those who are here and were not present for a past hearing of a different case on this property, September of last year, there was a decision made by the board that there would be an approval of landscaping on that property at 1240 and the premises thereof could be placed, but that the wire fencing that is there currently would need to be removed. So that's been an ongoing issue that we've been dealing with, and the applicant finally has removed that fencing as of today. Are there any more comments or questions about either of these applications? Okay.
I'll just make the other comment about, this is a returning owner who's been before the board multiple times, and they're asking again to legalize something that they put up after the fact. And, it just makes our job harder. And they know the process. So, it's at risk, I guess, for us to say no, but it just, I don't know. It just kind of grow weary of the same owner doing that. And this is not the first time they've done that. So that's just a comment. I probably won't bring it up during the hearing, but it's just, like how many times have we got to deal with them?
I think it's a legitimate issue to raise.
Yeah, I think it's fine to bring up. And this is not a small structure in a rear yard. This is in their front yard.
Okay, so that's it. We got through those very quickly for having 7 cases. Good job, everyone. For those in the public who are watching, we will be ending this YouTube stream, and the public hearing will start at 6 p.m. on a new stream to YouTube, and we'll start live at that time.